Beneath the chaotic noise of our human world, a secret empire thrives in silence. A world defined not by walls of steel, but by absolute ironclad discipline. Here logistics are perfected, and every single movement serves the greater colony structure. They are master architects, constructing towers that defy gravity and defy expectations of insect capability. An impeccable sanitation system keeps pathogens at bay. A biological marvel of public health. Deeper still past the nurseries and the defensive outposts, we reach the forbidden depth. The royal chamber, where the heartbeat of the empire resides in one singular, massive figure queen. The mother of millions, commanding her legions without ever speaking a single word. A biological anomaly, living 100 times longer than those who serve her endless cycle. They speak in chemicals a language older than breath. Invisible yet absolute in its power. How does such intelligence emerge from a mindless collective? How is unity maintained underground? Today we unlock the gates to the darkest, most disciplined corner of our planet. Witness the evolution of absolute order and the paradox of royal survival. This is the story of the hidden, the powerful, the eternal. The Black Ant Empire. The secret of the Queen. As the first summer rain ceases, a silent call echoes across the forest floor. The nuptial flight begins. A grand aerial ballet marking the start of a legendary lineage. Thousands rise into the blue void, drawn by an ancient instinctual command to perpetuate life. The males have fulfilled their duty, their brief existence coming to an abrupt, tragic end. But the sky is not a sanctuary. It is a brutal battlefield of predator and prey. Every flutter is a gamble, every second an escape from the claws of death. Survival is not granted, it is earned through desperate, instinctual evasive maneuvers. She leaves the chaos behind, guided by a singular unyielding purpose: to find her kingdom. The descent begins, signaling the transition from the freedom of the air to the depths of the earth. The air that gave her life now becomes a burden, an unnecessary weight for the task ahead. With a brutal mechanical efficiency, she begins the final act of her transformation. One by one the wings that touch the heavens are severed, discarded as remnants of a past life. Every scrap of earth she moves is a brick in the foundation of an empire yet to rise. Deep beneath the surface she sculpts her sanctuary, sealed away from the predators of the upper world. The tunnel is sealed here. In the crushing silence she is entirely and utterly alone. The isolation is profound, a test of will where she must survive on her own reserves. Her powerful flight muscles, now useless, begin to dissolve, fueling the production of her first generation. Her body is consuming itself, sacrificing her own strength to secure the future of her lineage. The first eggs are laid, a fragile promise of life. In the deepest, most quiet dark, she guards them with a fierce, quiet devotion, her life force now entirely centered on these tiny beings. She is no longer an individual, but a mother, a queen in the making. Bound by her duty, she nurtures them through the long, lightless days, waiting for the first signs of movement. At last life stirs in the darkness. A tiny ripple in the vast, Quiet Earth. The first of her workers emerges. A servant born to carry the weight of the coming empire. A new generation awakens ready to serve their mother. Ready to build a new world. Her solitary confinement is ending. And the growth of her vast domain is now inevitable. Together they represent the beginning of a dynasty that will shape the earth for seasons to come. The empire of the Black Ant has begun its silent, relentless rise. Deep within the subterranean dark, a silent internet pulses with life invisible to the naked eye. Ants translate these chemical codes through their antennae, creating a complex language of sense. Every movement, every encounter is a data packet exchanged within this vast organic network. This is their digital world, written in proteins and interpreted by the vibration of sensors. Thousands of connections form a single, massive intelligence spanning the entire empire below. At the center of this web sits the monarch, whose chemical commands dictate everything. She emits a potent pheromone cocktail, a master key that unlocks obedience and total control. This chemical signal suppresses the urge to reproduce in every single worker. They are biological drones, hardwired to serve only the queen's fragile reproductive existence. Absolute order is maintained by this chemical leash, ensuring survival through total submission. Yet even in the most perfect tyranny, the shadow of rebellion waits in the dark. With the queen's pheromones thinning here, the suppression starts to lose its grip. An act of defiance. An attempt to reclaim the power of life for herself. She knows the cost of betrayal. Yet the urge is far stronger than fear. A dangerous scent rises. A signature that signals treason to the rest of the colony. The guards, the colony's police, detect the change in the air. The hunt begins now. They move with lethal efficiency, following the invisible trail to the heart of the crime. Their scent profile reveals the truth. There is no escape from the colony's unwavering justice. The evidence is found, the verdict is swift, final, and executed with cold precision. The rebellion is crushed. The scent eliminated and order is restored to the hive. In this empire, the survival of the many requires the absolute destruction of the one. The chemical web remains unbroken. An ancient, complex, and ruthless masterpiece of biological engineering. She watches over her subjects, a sovereign of scent forever binding them to her legacy. Thousands of lives act as a single unit, driven by the invisible currents of their queen. This is the mechanism of empire. A machine fueled by chemistry, instinct, and total dominance beneath our feet. The Black Empire thrives locked in a cycle of silent chemical control. They share identical DNA. Yet the gap in their longevity is 100-fold difference. What secrets allow the queen to defy the natural biological clock? For 30 years, deep within her cells, A sophisticated system of DNA repair prevents the damage of aging. Her secret weapon is the spermatheca, a biological vault keeping cells alive for decades. She maintains sperm from a single mating event for her entire long-lasting reproductive journey. No further mating is required, as she masterfully manages this living supply for years. Now she enters her true role, functioning as a tireless factory for the entire empire. Thousands of eggs appear daily, each a carefully calculated biological investment for the future. She dictates the future of her colony, controlling fertilization with precise biological switches. Unfertilized eggs become males, while those she fertilizes bloom into the loyal, dedicated worker force. Nutrition defines their destiny. The queen shapes every worker's fate through delicate chemical cues. This is the source of eternal youth, a miracle of survival in the hidden world. She is the heartbeat of an empire, the architect of a tiny yet vast civilization. Her legacy is written in the success of every ant, surviving through the long ages. We have only just begun to understand the profound secrets held by this queen. Every movement she makes is supported by the tireless devotion of the entire working class. Efficiency is her key, transforming energy into a lifetime of constant reproductive output. She remains the static center of a constantly changing, dynamic and thriving world. Even her environment is engineered for optimal survival, preserving the queen's unique biological advantage. Chemical signals act as her language, ensuring absolute order across her vast, complex empire. Yet she is far from lonely, surrounded by her kin in an eternal dance of service. Each egg carried away represents the survival of her bloodline, another link in the chain. Development is rapid, creating a continuous cycle that fuels the expansion of the Black Empire. Time flows differently here, dictated by the needs of the queen and the colony. With every flicker of her antenna, she gathers data, making decisions for thousands of workers. Her power is not found in strength, but in the intricate organization of her subjects. The queen is the anchor, keeping the fragile threads of life securely together. Throughout time, a new life emerges, continuing the unending cycle that defines the longevity of the empire. In this darkness, she is the eternal sun and her empire the light. Her fertility, once the heartbeat of the colony, now produces only fragile remnants of life. The royal pheromones, the chemical language of command, grow silent in these darkening chambers. Time has weathered her form. Her once mighty presence is now a ghost of her former glory. There is no room for compassion here. The colony recognizes only utility and the cold math of survival. The servants of yesterday have become the cold judges of today, stripping away her final authority. Nature demands efficiency above all, and she has become nothing more than an expensive burden. The cruel logic of the hive knows no mother's love, only the survival of the collective. The sentence is absolute. The life-giver must make way for the new order. Without a queen, the future is extinguished. The cycle is broken forever. Despair takes hold as the colony begins to wither from within. lacking its vital center. Each grain of soil holds the memory of a fallen queen and a vanished empire. But look closer, for nature never truly ends. It only begins anew. A new princess ascends, her wings trembling with the promise of a future reign. She departs on the nuptial flight, carrying the heavy legacy of her entire bloodline. The individual matters little. It is the survival of the collective that defines existence. Every sacrifice, every struggle fuels the gears of a hidden, thriving world. We walk unaware, oblivious to the grand empires flourishing beneath our very footsteps. These tiny builders are the true stewards of our planet's wild, beating heart. As the sun sets, a new chapter begins, guided by the wisdom of the ages. Join us as we continue to unveil the mysteries of our wild world.